AutoCAD drawings can contain several layouts. This means we have complete control over how or how much of our model space geometry that we plot. Since we can have multiple layouts, let's look at how we can organize the layouts in a drawing. On my screen, I have an architectural example. This is a drawing of a proposed medical office. Take a look at my layout tabs. Notice that I've already copied a layout into this drawing. And if I select the layout, you can see that I've set my geometry to a scale, and I filled out the rest of the title block information. So essentially, this layout is finished. Well, except for the name. I called this sheet OV1, so I'd like to rename the Layout tab as well. To do that, I'll double-click on the tab name. I'll call this OV1, and I'll press Enter. Notice that I also have two other layouts in this file. You can have as many layouts as you want in your drawing. If you have several layouts and you don't like the way the tabs are arranged, you can click, drag, and release the tabs to change their order. Now, these two generic tabs are currently unused, so I'd like to delete them. To delete a layout, you can right-click on the tab name and select Delete from the menu. And you'll get a warning saying, hey, you're trying to delete a layout. Do you want to do this? Yes, I do. I'll click OK. I'm going to do the same thing to delete Layout 2. No sense keeping layouts that we're not using. Now, maybe I'd like to create a new layout similar to this one. And maybe I'd like to use this layout to focus on one of the exam rooms. I'll start by creating a copy of this layout. To do that, I'll click and drag on this tab name, and then I'll hold my Control key and I'll release my mouse button. If I select this tab, you can see it's an exact duplicate of the original layout. From here, I will change the scale of this viewport to focus on this exam room. I'll start by opening the layer control, and I'll turn the viewport layer on. Then I'll double-click in the viewport. I'll come down and unlock it, and I'll pan this over to center the exam room inside the viewport. Now I'll change the scale. Let's try 3/8 inch equals a foot. That's not bad. I think I can go larger. I'm going to try 1/2 inch equals a foot. That looks like it'll work well. I'm going to recenter this, and then I'll immediately come back down and lock the viewport. Now that I'm finished, I'm going to jump out of the viewport by double-clicking outside the boundary. As I look at this, take a look at some of this extraneous geometry that we're seeing outside the room. Remember that a viewport is a window into model space. Watch this. If I select the viewport boundary, I can adjust its size using these grips. I'll click this grip, and I'll pull it up to here. Now, I'm being mindful of my running object snaps. In fact, I'm going to turn those off momentarily. I'll pull the viewport corner up to here, and then I'll grab this corner, and I'll pull it down to here. When I'm finished, I'll press Escape. By adjusting my viewport boundary, I was able to focus on exactly the geometry that I wanted to see. Let's turn the viewport layer back off. And now I need to take care of some housekeeping. Let's revise some of this title block text. First of all, I'll change the scale. This is 1/2 inch equals a foot. We'll call this drawing ER1. This is going to be sheet 2 of 2. And I'll call this Typical Exam Room. Finally, I'll do a zoom extents, and let's rename this Layout tab. I'm going to double-click, and I'll change this to ER1. Using these layouts, I'm able to take my model space geometry and create two separate plots. AutoCAD drawings can support an unlimited number of layouts. With a little organization, we can take the same model space geometry and plot it any number of ways.